All right, welcome into another day of our daily Devos in the Psalms. Pastor Rick here. Man, we had a crazy lightning storm yesterday and it's kind of messed some stuff up, and I can't get my usual camera to work, so had to shift over to a different camera today. So hopefully we'll survive. The angle's a little different. It's kind of cattywampus. I'm a little out of my element, but thankfully today we have a really, really great psalm to go through, Psalm 62, that actually needs very little help from me. Thank the Lord. So, yeah, I just want to dive into Psalm 62, and the title is awesome. It is just trust in God alone. Can I get an amen in the comments for trusting in God alone? Come on. So we're just going to jump in. Verse 1. I am at rest in God alone. My salvation comes from him. And I think really just that's the only place for true rest. It's the only place where we really can get that comfort, that peace, that where you can, and man, God's so good, and our salvation really truly does come from him alone. It doesn't come from having a certain amount of money in the bank. It doesn't come from who sits in the White House. It doesn't come from how things are going at your job. It doesn't come from any of those things. Our salvation comes from him alone. And he alone is my rock and my salvation, my stronghold. I will never be shaken. Now, you can get rocked. You can have your world really, really come at you strong. But this idea of being shaken is like at your core. Like, are you secure in your very core of your being, or are you vulnerable to being shaken, to being knocked off of your path? And so he alone is my rock and my salvation. He alone is my rock and my salvation, my stronghold. I will never be shaken. How long will you threaten a man? Will all of you attack? As if he were a leaning wall or a tottering fence. They only plan to bring him down from his high position. They take pleasure in lying. They bless with their mouths, but they curse inwardly. Excuse me. Rest in God alone, my soul, for my hope comes from him. For he alone is my rock and my salvation, my stronghold. I will not be shaken. Come on. It's so important that we're repeating it. You know what I'm saying? And that's kind of how poetry and song goes. Rest in God alone, my soul. Like, choose. So this is interesting. Since we just got done with verse 1. Verse 1, I am at rest in God alone. That's good. Now it's kind of like that, talking to yourself a little bit and saying, rest in God alone. Don't try to find rest in any other thing. Don't try to put your peace, your safety, your comfort in anyone but God, but know that when I'm looking for rest, I need to look to him. I don't need to look anywhere else. And so my salvation and glory depend on God, my strong rock. My refuge is in God. Trust in him at all times, you people. Pour out your hearts before him. God is our refuge. Man, 7 and 8, man, I feel like those need a good, let's go yellow highlight. I feel like that's yellow highlight status right there. My salvation and glory depend on God, my strong rock. My refuge is in God. Trust in him at all times, you people. Pour out your hearts before him. Let him know everything. There's no need to hold anything back from God. There's no need to fake it. No faking it till you make it kind of a thing. Just trusting God and believing that he is going to see you through. Common people are only a vapor. Important people an illusion. Together on a scale, they weigh less than a vapor. It's like, ultimately we all have intrinsic value, tons of value. Every person that is valuable, but we're just a vapor as far as like how long we're here on earth. Obviously we believe that we have future in eternity, but just having that proper perspective of important people, it's an illusion. People, it's like they're important based on rules we've basically made up, and so don't put too much weight, too much confidence. Again, your salvation is in God alone. It's not in the president, not in celebrities, not in your favorite author, not in any of those, not in your favorite YouTube video guy. No, but anyways, place no trust in oppression or false hope and robbery. If wealth increases, don't set your heart on it. Yeah. So like you start becoming really successful, don't set your heart, not just on wealth, but like on success in general. Don't set your heart on that kind of stuff. Make sure that you keep your heart anchored to the Lord so that you will not be shaken, and don't allow yourself to get kind of sucked into other avenues. God has spoken once. I've heard this twice. Strength belongs to God, and faithful love belongs to you, Lord, for you repay each according to his works. Come on. God has spoken it once, and I've heard it twice. It's so important that I've actually heard it twice. Strength belongs to God. If you are weary, if you are worn down, if you're hurting and you need strength, know that strength alone, it belongs to God alone. So we need to make sure that we point our hearts towards the actual source, and don't try to seek it where it can't truly be found. So, like I said, the Psalm does most of the work today. Lots of great stuff in this Psalm. I encourage you to just go back through it, meditate on it a little bit, journal about it, and just really ask yourself, where am I putting my confidence? Where am I putting my trust? Where am I aiming myself for rest when I'm looking for rest? Where are the avenues and tools that I'm trying to utilize to get rest? And let's make sure that we set our hearts, our affections on him and him alone, because he is the only one that can see us through. So with that, a big hearty God bless you. Have a great day today, and I will see you tomorrow.